Clara'S Miracle. In the interior of the state of Mato Grosso, Brazil, known for its tranquility and natural beauty, in a small town, lived Clara, a 38-year-old woman, a teacher passionate about her profession, known for her affection and dedication to her students. She lived with her daughter, Mariana, aged 7, who had inherited her mother's kindness and curiosity. Clara was a widow. Her husband, Jonathan, had died in a tragic car accident when Mariana was just 2 years old. Since then, Clara dedicated herself entirely to her daughter, trying to fill the void left by the loss of her husband. Clara's routine was peaceful, but carried the constant shadow of pain and longing. At a unique moment in her life, Clara began to feel persistent weakness and difficulty breathing. Initially, he ignored it, attributing it to tiredness. However, the weakness intensified, and after a few days, she decided to see a doctor. After a series of tests, Clara received devastating news. She had advanced heart failure. The prognosis was not good, and doctors recommended immediate treatment. Clara was stunned. His thoughts immediately turned to Mariana. Who would take care of your daughter if she was no longer around? Determined to fight for her life and her daughter, Clara began rigorous medical treatment. The routine of hospital visits, exams, and medications was exhausting, but Clara didn't give up. During this difficult time, the local community rallied to help Clara. Neighbors, friends, and co-workers came together to offer emotional and practical support. One of those friends was Beatriz, a fellow teacher and longtime friend. Beatriz had always been by Clara's side, supporting her. She became a constant presence in Clara's house, helping with the daily chores and taking care of Mariana when her mother was in the hospital. The relationship between Clara and Beatriz deepened even further during this phase, and Beatriz became a pillar of strength and support. Despite all her efforts, Clara realized that her body was rapidly weakening. The disease progressed relentlessly. One day, after a particularly exhausting treatment session, Clara had a conversation with Beatriz. She expressed her concerns about Mariana's future and asked Beatriz to take care of her daughter if she did not survive. Beatriz, with tears in her eyes, promised Clara that she would do everything for Mariana. Mariana, despite her young age, understood the gravity of the situation. One night he went to his mother's room and, with tears in his eyes, said, "Mommy, please don't leave." Clara, heartbroken, hugged her daughter and said, "I love you, my angel. I will always be with you, one way or another. Never forget that." That same night, Clara had a vivid dream. She said she was in a green field, surrounded by a light that prevented her from seeing much further. In the dream, she heard the voice of Jonathan. Her late husband, Jonathan, said, "Clara, don't be afraid. Mariana will be taken care of, and you will always be with her." Clara woke up with a feeling of peace that she hadn't felt in a long time. The next morning, Clara called Beatriz and Mariana to her room with a calm voice and then said, "Beatriz, I know that my time is coming to an end. Please take care of Mariana as if she were your own daughter. Mariana, my love, I love you more than anything in this world. I will always be with you. Be strong, my dear." Beatriz and Mariana promised to take care of each other and move forward, despite the pain. The following day, Clara was taken to the hospital, dying a few hours later. Beatriz honored her promise and took on the responsibility of taking care of Mariana. She became a mother figure to the girl, offering her the love and security Clara desired. The transition was difficult, but at just a few years old, Mariana found joy again. She remembered her mother's words and felt her presence in small gestures and everyday moments. One night, while she was on the balcony looking at the stars, Mariana felt a soft breeze that seemed like a whisper, and in her heart she felt as if she had received a hug from her mother. Mariana became a strong and compassionate woman, inspired by the memory of her mother and the kindness of Beatrice. She followed in her mother's footsteps and became a teacher, dedicating herself to helping children discover their potential and face life's challenges with courage and hope. Beatrice also found solace and purpose in her new responsibility, as well as joy and satisfaction. The miracle that Clara had asked for in her moments of despair did not manifest itself in the form of a physical cure, but in the strength of love and friendship. This love transformed their lives, offering them a new perspective and a deeper understanding of the connection between human beings. Years later, at a community event, Mariana was invited to talk about her mother and her influence on her life. She took the stage, looked at the audience, and declared, "My mother, Clara, was the strongest and most loving person I knew. She faced unimaginable challenges with courage and grace, and always put others before herself. When she became ill, the community, and especially Beatrice, my second mother, came together to support us. The kindness and generosity shown to us during that difficult time is a true testament to the power of love and solidarity. My mother taught me that, even in the darkest moments, we should keep appreciating the phases of life, for it is one." She believed that love is eternal and that even after death, those we love continue to guide and protect us. I feel her presence sometimes, like now. I learned that miracles don't have to be grandiose supernatural events. Sometimes they manifest themselves through simple gestures of kindness and compassion. My life has been touched by many of these miracles, and I am eternally grateful for each and every one of them. Thank you, Mom, for your care, and thank you all for being part of our story. Clara'S Miracle, however, had not yet been completely revealed. The extraordinary event that occurred after Clara'S death brought a divine and indisputable touch to this story of love and hope. The morning after Clara'S death, when Mariana and Beatrice went to the hospital to say goodbye to her, something incredible happened. Clara had been declared dead, and her body was in the room, ready to be transferred to the funeral home. Mariana, heartbroken, asked to see her mother one last time. While Mariana was at her mother's bedside, holding her cold hand and whispering parting words, an inexplicable phenomenon occurred. The heart monitor, which had been silent, began to emit sound. Doctors and nurses, initially incredulous, rushed to check. Suddenly, Clara opened her eyes, breathing deeply as if she had just emerged from a long swim. Mariana, scared and at the same time full of hope, called for Beatrice and the doctors. Clara, still weak, looked at her daughter and, with a serene smile, said, "I heard your voice. I felt your love bring me back." The doctors, perplexed, carried out new tests and found that Clara was alive and with stable vital signs. They could not explain how a woman who had been pronounced dead for nearly an hour could come back to life. The phenomenon was classified as a miracle, something that defied science and logic. But this resurrection lasted long enough for Clara to come and talk to her daughter for the last time. Minutes later, Clara was gone, this time forever. Mariana, in turn, grew up knowing that love is a powerful force that transcends even death. The bond between mother and daughter, strengthened by a divine miracle, was a constant source of strength and hope for both. Beatrice, a witness to this miracle, continued to be a pillar of love and support, a loyal friend who was always by their side. Clara'S Miracle was a testimony to the power of faith, unconditional love, and the belief that, even in the most desperate circumstances, love can do anything. At that event where Mariana spoke about her mother, she didn't want to mention the miracle, as she didn't want to attract attention and questions from anyone. She simply kept it with her, like the most valuable gift in the world. Clara'S Miracle was more than a supernatural event. It was a life lesson about the power of love and respect, a story that could be told for generations, but that few knew. The darkest hours bring the possibility of miracles happening. And that is the beauty of life.